Brothers and sisters of Yahuwah and of the truth, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth, I love you all, and I'm sorry that my last video cut off short. I've never made a video on this device before. This is the Samsung tablet, so I'm hoping that I have enough space to finish the portion of Fossilized Customs on the Jesuit Illuminati. I was cut off at the Latin words above and below the I on the dollar bill in translation mean announcing the birth of a new world order. The all-seeing eye is seen in the meditation room at the United Nations building in New York City. The Great Seal was designed under the authority of Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, both Freemasons, and Benjamin Franklin, a member of another secret society, the Rosicrucians. Masons revere Nimrod the Eye as their founder. After Adam Weishaupt died, an Italian revolutionary leader became the director of the Illuminati. Giuseppe Mazzini, who held the position from 1834 to 1872. Mazzini gives the first letter to the acronym Mafia, M-A-F-I-A. Italian word on this side and then English meaning. I'll read the Italian word and then the English meaning. Mazzini. Autorizza authorities. Furti, thefts. Incendi, arsons. Avvelenamenti, poisonings. The Mafia acronym developed in about 1859. The organization was previously called Camorra since 1800 and was an Italian criminal society. This information is supplied in the 1945 Encyclopedia Americana. Shortly after Mazzini took control, an obscure intellectual joined a branch organization called the League of the Just. His name was Karl Heinrich Marx. Marx denounced the Messianic Judaism of his parents and embraced atheism, belief in nothing. Studied at the University of Bonn and Berlin and wrote the book Das Kapital, laying the foundation of the communist movement set against private enterprise and property ownership. In 1847, Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto, which was basically a rehash of the writings of Adam Weishaupt. At this time, Mazzini selected Albert Pike to head the Illuminati activities in the U.S. Pike was an admirer of the secret Hebrew cult of Kabbalah or Kabbalism. Mazzini, in a letter dated January 22, 1870, wrote to Pike, "We must create a super right, which will remain unknown, to which we will call those Masons of high degree whom we shall select. With regard to our brothers in Masonry, these men must be pledged to the strictest secrecy. Through the supreme right, we will govern all Freemasonry, which will become the one international center, the more powerful because its direction will be unknown." This letter was published in the book Occult Theocracy by Lady Queensborough, pages 208 and 209. Supreme councils were formed in Charleston, South Carolina, U.S., in Rome, and in Berlin. Known secretly as Palladism, it is the cult of Satan in the inner shrines of a secret ritual to surpass all other secret rituals. On July 14, 1889, Pike issued this statement to the 23 Supreme Councils of the world. "That which we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, to everyone, sovereign grand inspectors general, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the..." I'm wrong. To you, sovereign grand inspectors general, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai Yahusha calumniate him? Yes, Lucifer is God. General Albert Pike, 33rd degree, quoted from the Freemason, the organ of English Freemasonry, 19th January 1935. In 1871, Giuseppe Mazzini issued a remarkable letter in which he graphically outlined plans for 3 world wars, another trinity. Until recently, this letter was on display in the British Museum Library in London. Pike aided in making this plan known in the U.S. It was a blueprint for 3 wars called the Mazzini-Pike Plan. Its ultimate goal was eventual world domination. The letter outlined 3 relatively simple strategies. It called for communism, fascism, and the struggle for the Mideast to foment 3 global wars and at least 2 major revolutions. World War I was to destroy the Tsarist government of Russia and replace it with militant atheism. World War II of the Mazzini-Pike blueprint called for the firing up of the controversy between the Yasharali and the Muslim world. They hoped that the Zionists and the Muslims would destroy one another and bring the rest of the world into a final conflict. The Great Battle would usher in a complete social, political, and economic chaos. To fill the void created by the Great Battle would come a world government headed by the Illuminati. In Illuminati doctrine, Lucifer is God and Satanism is heresy. End of internet data. If you research the man named Ignatius de Loyola, you will find he founded the Alumbrados, which eventually became the Inquisition. Mankind's enemy is not flesh and blood, but spiritual. The world is controlled presently by Shaitan or Satan, the dragon. And you can see that the conflicts around the world are rooted in religious differences caused by his divide and conquer methods and driven by greed. Here in the U.S., Norman Thomas ran for president in 1936 on the socialist ticket and stated the American people will never knowingly adopt socialism, but under the name of liberalism, they will adopt every fragment of the socialist program, and America will be a socialist nation without ever knowing it happened. The word Nazi is short for National Socialist Party. The objective of fascism and National Socialism is government control of business, religion, and the family and the economy. Look up the definitions for fascism and Nazi in a dictionary, and you will be amazed that they are identical to the aims of the socialism we find ourselves surrounded by. Where is the Illuminati today? Let's find out. The Jesuit Illuminati and Council on Foreign Relations. Excerpt by Myron Fagan. Now then, this satanic plot was launched back in the 1760s when it first came into existence under the name Illuminati. The Illuminati was organized by Adam Weishaupt, born a Jew. He converted to Catholicism and became a Catholic priest. At the behest of the newly organized House of Rothschild, he defected and organized the Illuminati. The Rothschilds financed that operation in every war since then, beginning with the French Revolution, and has been promoted by the Illuminati operating under various names and guises. This order operates under various names and guises because after the Illuminati was exposed and became notorious, Weishaupt and his co-conspirators began to operate under various other names. In the United States, immediately after World War I, they set up what they called the Council on Foreign Relations, commonly referred to as CFR, and this CFR is actually the Jesuit Illuminati in the United States and its hierarchy.
Please.
So watch the behavior of the UN, WHO, Federal Reserve Bank, and World Bank. Food control is only one of their objectives. Control is sometimes brought about by undermining foreign governments, using Jesuit priests under deep cover to create religious conflicts. The Vietnam War was fought over religion. The president of South Vietnam, Diem, was a Catholic and was persecuting his Buddhist subjects. North Vietnam was Buddhist and sought to come to the aid of their Buddhist brothers. You'll recall headlines with images of Buddhist monks in South Vietnam burning themselves in front of their pagodas to attract the world's attention. That's crazy. Religious bickering is causing civil unrest in Northern Ireland, the Balkans, India, Africa, and Indonesia. They plant the seeds of unrest, then come in with their international peacekeepers, and on the surface appear to be the good guys. The soldiers who work to restore the peace are what they internally call cannon fodder. All the while they developed and test new deadlier weapons at secret facilities like Area 51 and encircle the globe with nuclear submarines. They have weapons in orbit which can target individual persons or shoot down planes which carry the people they wish to eliminate. Mysterious crashes for unexplained reasons occur all the time, but if you check the record of those who were on board the planes, you will find people of prominent influence every time. Planes which suddenly explode for no reason or crash into the sea like John Kennedy Jr.'s did might not be the accidents they appeared to be. I became aware of this possibility several years ago when I heard about a plane going down that had the U.S. Air Force procurement officer on board. The Illuminati controls political leaders with money and sex. As you see, these two issues swarm around them constantly. But we must live in peace and trust that all these wars, conspiracies, storms, earthquakes, firestorms, and other record-breaking natural disasters are signs that the end is near for Satan. Wherever you see eagles or obelisks, Satan cannot be far away. They are all paganism symbols. So they are all Satanist symbols. And I hope I have time to read this before my video cuts me off again. The Seal of Masonry. The Fraternal Club of Masonry is for men only, but they started a women's chapter for the wives called the Eastern Star. Masonry is a very old craft, really. It didn't involve all the convoluted secrets it has today, but only had one objective: building. Yes, the men who designed and built all the ancient and modern temples and government buildings were stonemasons. They took on apprentices or students who eventually became journeymen and finally master craftsmen. They had to learn how to lay foundations, measure, and cut stone. The graduates of schools wear a flat, square-topped hat, which is really a mortar board, attached to the round hat of Hermes, an idol of the Greeks, which scholars wore as a badge of learning. This beanie hat was imposed on the Hellenized Yahudim, and now Jews wear them when they attend synagogues. The seal of modern masonry has a compass open above a square, which are two tools used in the geometry of their craft with a capital letter G in the center. The letter is interpreted to stand for God, and Christians who join see it this way. Some see it as standing for great architect, and it really stands for the Greek word Gnostic, which means knowledge, the knowledge of the craft. It also stands for guild. During the Middle Ages, stonemasonry formed into organized groups of men called guilds, which were precursors of unions. The building trades were monopolized by the guilds. Their most cherished item was their apron, which they wore when laying stones. Without this apron, they could not work, and it became their badge of approval or righteousness. The emblem of each guild was displayed on the apron. Next time I will be reading The Great Architect, which will continue on talking about masonry. or pentagrams, Ishtar, Asherah, Easter. Let me see. And appointed times, church fathers abandoned them. First fruits, Shavuot, Festival of Booths, Trumpets, Day of Atonement, Festival of Booths, the last great day. And that's probably all I'll have time to read for next time. I hope everyone has a blessed day. And I love you all, warriors of Yahuwah and warriors of the truth. Yahuwah bless you all.